Hello everyone. I am here to talk about the full moon in Capricorn tomorrow and the summer solstice. Happy summer solstice. That's this afternoon. Hopefully you can hear me okay. It's really hot and humid here. You can probably tell by looking at me. I've got a fan on. So this full moon feels super nurturing. And it's really incredible. It's so funny. I'm already getting a visual with some messages that came through earlier of like this ice cream sandwich. So this full moon in Capricorn is at 1 degree Capricorn. The next new moon we have is in Cancer, and then that's sandwiched by another full moon in Capricorn at 29 degrees. So this is pretty rare for this to happen, because the only way you can have a double full moon like that, reoccurring so quickly, is for it to be at 1 degree and then 29 degrees. And this full moon is squaring Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces. And so it feels like this invitation, especially in Cancer season, which is all about memories in the past, it's really an invitation to reflect on where we've been. And there's also I got these messages from the moon that are just super nourishing. And so one thing I want to share as well before I get into this is I'm beginning to take a different perspective on astrology too, and learning a different way to connect more directly. So this all started, I feel like, when I met my friend Kate Shantz, who channels the planets. And then I kind of realized, I'm channeling the planets sometimes too. And then I just recently had a couple of quantum astrology sessions with Tammy Roth. And in those sessions, I was accessing my chart myself in the quantum field. So it's invited me to connect with the energies a little differently today. It's a way I've been connecting, but maybe not super intentionally or super consciously. So when I went in to connect with the chart of this full moon, the moon came straight forward. And it was kind of like this old mean moon that said, do what you're told. And it was showing me, this is what we're letting go of. And then this other archetype stepped forward, which is one that I've gotten in touch with in my own chart. And it's more of this, grandmother moon energy. And Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And a lot of times we think of Saturn energy as, you have to do this to get your reward. And although that is true sometimes, there's a different energy stepping forward that's much more feminine and matriarchal. And she's saying, I have cookies for you, and you get to eat them just for being you. And she also was saying that we can look outside, look around us, look at the earth, look at nature, and realize that this is us. We have all of this within us, but a lot of us have disowned that. We don't see that as a part of us. And she was saying this really represents a lot of our disowned parts. And so it feels like this invitation to welcome back all parts of us without judgment, and to really just observe how they all have a part in who we are. And I just love this unconditional love it's this Cancer energy of the mother who wants to nurture the child. And that it just feels like a major healing point for us. So with this moon going from 1 degree to 29 degrees, something else that it feels like, it feels it's related to our Pluto transit through Capricorn. And he's going to dip back in, I think in September, for a little bit for the last time. And so it's really inviting us to look at what has transformed through this whole transit. With Pluto, a lot of times we tend to focus on the death and the transformation, but something that's been coming to light for me more recently, because I've been going through this transit myself, is that Pluto also offers us a rebirth. And that energy, as much as the preceding energies can be so scary, the rebirth energy is like beautiful. And it's like, you couldn't have imagined what the rebirth would look like. You know, it's like we have to just allow space for the divine to help us and to really, like, I'm hearing the word reward. So it is kind of like this reward for all of these trials and tribulations that we've been through. And if we can be open to receive that, and if we can be open to accept our parts and just allow that to be transformed within us with that alchemy of awareness, there's like amazing things on the other side of that. So, that's a lot, but yeah, it feels very reflective, very regenerative, and it feels like an invitation to just be, you know, not focus so much on accomplishing, but just being. And it feels like the more we can be in that frequency and be present, that's when like the magic shows up for us. So I'm gonna pull a couple of cards just to see if there's any other messages that want to come through. I got 3 cards that just fell out immediately. I love these. Taking risks. This is like that higher perspective and sort of like going beyond your comfort zone. Success. And I love that like dark feminine energy of the panther in the jungle. It's like we can be afraid of this energy sometimes, but if we're willing to venture out into the jungle to take risks and do things differently, there will be success and blessings. And this feels very ancestral. And when I see the yellow bird, I always think of like the golden age and like the Aquarian age, and I just love this blooming as well. This really shows like the rebirth energy, and the water coming back, like the remembrance, like so much ancient divine remembering that we're having. That's beautiful. So yeah, it's like, are we just willing to do things differently or not expect things to be the same? And I wanted to pull a goddess for us as well for this full moon. Ooh. Caradwin, death and rebirth. How amazing. Look at those phases of the moon. Oh, I feel the ancestors there, and there's something bubbling. There's something cooking. There's a rebirth cooking here. If we look out into the world, yeah, we see a lot of death. We see a lot of chaos. We see a lot of things that we don't like. And we're all kind of in different stages of our evolution. And so I think it's just this reminder that there is a rebirth that comes after all of that. Yeah, I feel like I'm just hearing stay strong. Beautiful. And that swirl, look at the swirl in her pot. It's just like there's this divine order to the cosmos, and we just need to trust. We need to trust that all of the things that we experience are for us to learn from. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a wonderful full moon. I'd love to hear any reflections you're having. All right, love you.